Okay, good afternoon, good morning viewers, whatever time it is in your part of the world. Today we've got an interesting conundrum. I was just sitting here relaxing, just been for a 40-kilometre ride, and I was looking at my bike, and next minute, poof, puncture. Why? Bike hasn't moved for 40 minutes. Bike's just parked there. It's not rolling. So, anyway, what? Save the rim brake. Okay, so we get the tyre off. No levers, Mr. Jury Rider. But admittedly, it is just a light speed alloy, so you know you do have an excuse. Those horrible bloody tubeless rims. We get our tyre off, as you do. We have a look, and as you can see, there's a valve, there's our hole. So what caused this? First thing we do is, when you have this sort of issue, go around to your rim, your hole, work out the distance from, obviously if you're out riding, you would just go quick, grab your spare tube, voila, grab your spare tube, nice big brand new Bond Ranger, chuck it in, get going again. But when you've had a Gremlin style incident like this, where that happens and yet you're not moving, and the bike hasn't moved for 40 minutes and you've just done 40 kilometers, you need to do some investigation. So you go, okay, we put our stem in, we know where our hole is, we go to that distance where the hole is, and we need to do some investigation of what caused this. We have a look at that rim. As you can see, the tape is in quite good nick. It's a tiny bit folded in, as you can see just here. Not a lot, but just a tiny bit. That's a possibility. So rim tape could be causing the problems. You may have just the rim tape bunching up, especially on super thin tubes, could cause the problem. And then you need to go to your tyre as well, and obviously look at your tyre everywhere. Make sure there's no protruding punctures, which isn't, to be honest, highly likely because your bike sat there for so long. So anyway, we go along, we can't find anything, and then, because I've already actually investigated this, I'll show you where our next possible cause of the puncture could be. If I can find it quickly, so I don't muck you guys around too long on YouTube, because I know you're very quick to go, oh, I'm so bored with this, I'm deleting. But this, you ride bikes, and this could happen to you. And look at that. See the hole? I can see you, but I don't know if you can see me. But that hole right there is big enough for the light to go through. When that happens, when that sort of thing happens from a puncture or whatever it is, as you can see the light, when that happens, what happens is when you pump the tube up, it grows to at 110 psi, it grows to the size of your tyre, and it will start to try and force out that tiny little hole. And even though the bike is sitting there still, your air pressure, and guess what, it was just about to start raining, so air pressure would have probably dropped. That tube is going to try and either work its way down as it lowers its pressure because of the air inside, or it will try and raise and try and force its way into the hole. So therefore it's causing abrasion, either whether it's retracting or it's expansion, which very super thin tube, whoop, I'm not swear and say wait, but anyway, that gave me a little bit of a fright. So anyway, that abrasion is enough, especially at 110 psi, for it to pop. It's basically a tiny little pinch flat as it's being pushed up. It's squeezing really, really hard, and the hole that won't give because it's quite reinforced, the tubes, usually they've got some kind of threading. They're not wire like a car obviously, but they are designed to be, you know, handle a lot of pressure and a lot, especially weight, especially if it's heavy heavy person, you know, not that I'm super heavy, but weigh a little bit. So anyway, so you need to fix that hole. This is where you can be rich, not rich like rich by name, but rich by finances, and you just go and buy a new tyre, go and buy a new tube. But most of us, you know, are on a budget, and we try not to do this sort of thing. We could go and buy a new tube, like so, and we'll just put it in, and guess what? Same thing will happen. Ah, what? No! Another buddy tyre puncher. Or we go, okay, our tyre is still in very good condition. It hasn't got major wear, and it's a 650 this tyre out of Millie, so I can't even get tyres easily. So you need to do it. This is where Park Tool come in with a kit called Emergency Tyre Boot. And basically what it is it's a patch that's big enough, see, great big square patch, to patch the actual tyre. And the reason why you patch the tyre is because you want to seal that hole, and so that when you pump your tyre up, there's nothing for it to push against but the actual patch on the inner side of the tube. Yes, it could make it slightly out of balance if you're doing 45 or 50 k's an hour and you're a Tour de France rider, and it may cause a slight balance effect. But if you're an average rider, it's not going to. And to be honest, if you want to save yourself paying 60, 80 bucks or whatever, you know, the cost of a new tyre, especially if it's just got a hole, and you know how much glass we all pick up out there, then one of these, thanks John from Rival Bikes, little plug, and Donna of course, could save you having to put a tyre on for a while and get the full life out of your tyre. We can only see. Alright, so you'll need this, your tyre boot that will go, that you can cut it to size and fit it so that it covers that hole completely. You'll need that. You'll need a patch kit for your tube, because we're doing it 70s, 80s, 90s style, when people didn't go and buy a new, throw a new tube in every time. Okay, let's say, you know, most of the time you will anyway, but if you're out there on the road, I seriously recommend carrying one of these, because you don't always get one puncher. Sometimes you get, and most of us only carry one spare tube. For how quick they are to add, to put on, put it on. If you're having this problem numerous times, and I suggest you change your rim tape, because your rim tape could be causing it as well. So what, I will just remove the rim tape, put on new rim tape, put on a tyre boot, which is the one that goes actually on the inside of the tube where the hole is. I'll patch the tube and we'll continue on. Okay, back to you in a sec.